Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. Yes, I went back to my original intro because I had several people who had messaged me on my YouTube videos saying that they missed my original intro. And to be honest, I actually was contemplating going back to my original intro because I as well missed it. And the other one just didn't seem to flow as naturally for me. So I'm back to my original intro. So thanks to everybody for the input and for encouraging me to go with my gut. Anyways, this video that I'm doing was not a planned video. Yesterday, I posted on my Instagram story asking nail techs out there if they do press-on nails for themselves. And what prompted this was, well, first of all, I am in dire need of doing my nails. As you can see, they are super grown out. I think this is like 5 or 6 weeks. I'm not even sure, to be honest. And second of all, Ginger Sparks from Gels and Gems had recently posted her birthday nails that she created on press-ons, and they looked amazing. I reached out to her and asked her, like, how long do they last you? Blah, 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 all the information. She gave me a bunch of information. She said that she's been wearing them just with nail glue, and they've lasted about 2 weeks, I think she said, or maybe it was 1 week at the time, but still, even 1 week with glue clearly has come a long way from way back when I was a kid doing press-on nails and they would last for 15 minutes and pop off. So I don't have nail glue on hand. I do have a resin, or it is a nail glue, I guess you could call it, from KIARA Sky, but I had also recently seen a video where someone had used acrylic as the adhesive. So I did a little press-on nail for myself. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. I did a little press-on nail for myself. I put it on with acrylic, and then I wanted to post on Instagram just to get some feedback as to what tips you guys like, what adhesive you guys like. Do you like gel? Do you use the Apres system, etc., etc., etc. I got lots of feedback, and some of the ladies had requested that I film doing my nails and how I'm applying them with acrylic. So I was like, I gotta get my nails done today, so I will film it for you guys. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around, keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's get started. Alright guys, so here is a closer look at what my current situation is. I still have the thumb on this one. I have been having really bad issues lately with this, no, not this hand, this finger here. Even though I do wear my vet wrap, I still find that I get a bit of a callus here, and also here, and here, and here, and I don't know if it's also from the amount of hand washing that I've been doing. My hands are drier. I don't know what. I've been trying to lotion them and cuticle oil them, but I also have been a bad girl and picking at them, so that's why they look kind of gnarly right now. But regardless of that, I gotta get my nails done. So like I said, I had put a poll on Instagram, and I got a lot of DMs also, just answering some of the questions that I had put out there. So it seems like a lot of people are using the Apres system. Some are using the Apres tips, but not with the Apres gels. They're using different gels. And a lot of people are just using glue. So I have been looking at the different tips. There's tips from Young Nails. There are tips from the Apres. There are tips from, oh gosh, there's so many out there right now, full nail tips. So I'm not sure which ones I am going to get right now, but I had all of these ones here that I bought forever and ever ago from eBay. I actually tried to go on and see if I could find them, but I cannot even find them in my purchases because I think I bought them so stinking long ago. So they do go from 0 to 9 in size, but I don't have any zeros left because I have used them all for doing practice nail art. That's originally what I bought them for. So I did this one on myself yesterday, and as I kind of mentioned in my story on Instagram, it doesn't quite cover, let me see if I move these out of the way, if it'll show you a little bit better. You can see my natural nail. It kind of comes out a little bit, so it doesn't cover 100%. This side is good. It's very, very flush with my sidewall. So the size 0 might have been the better option, but unfortunately I don't have any of them, so I just went with the number 1. Now I'm going to be using all of these. Ideally, I would have liked to have designed, you know, most of them or all of them and then just showed you how I did the design on one of them. But unfortunately, I have no idea what sizes are actually going to fit my fingers. So I have to basically start off with removing all of this product. I'm going to get this off and then I'm going to size them. And I did shorten them. Where is the number 1 package here? Here it is. So I don't know if you can see in the bag. I guess I could take one out really quickly and show you guys here. I did shorten the number 1 because they are a bit long. I do like mine, you know, on the shorter to medium size length. I don't like them super long. So you can see side by side here, I did take off quite a bit of length. So I will have to do that with all of them. It really wasn't that difficult at all because they're fairly thin. But I will say these ones here are actually like not as flimsy as, you know, the ones that we would get way back in the day. They were like paper thin. These are actually quite good, and I have not had any issues with this, like feeling like it's going to come off or break or anything. And all that is on here is a thin 1 layer of a gel polish, a little bit of glitter, and 1 layer of gel top coat. I ideally would do 2 coats because over here there's a little bit of a divot where the glitter is, but honestly for myself I was just like, I really don't care, I just want to get these things on. So let's get into it. So first I'm going to remove all of this stuff that I got on here and get a fresh clean slate. So I'm going to start off with my nail clippers, and I'm just going to, these are big toenail clippers. I would like to get some straight edge ones actually. These are like old, I've had these forever. So I'm just going to go in with these and remove the length, and then I'm going to go in with my 4X carbide bit and take down the product and remove any lifting. And then I'll go in with a hand file and sort of smoothen everything out as well. I'll push back my proximal nail fold. I will also go in with my little cuticle bit and get rid of all the cuticles. I'm just going to fast forward through all of that stuff for you guys, so this video is not super long. Alright you guys, so I want to address something because you might have noticed I caused a little bit of damage to my nail right there. I don't know if you can see that little tiny hole, and actually right there as well. And I feel like there might be a, oh yeah, right there. Now, because I have, you guys, I am really bad at doing stuff with my left hand. I mean, I know most of us are not ambidextrous, but when I say that I have very little control over this hand, I really do. So I do find it really hard to not end up digging in with the little e-file, even though it's on, even with the little cuticle bit, even though it's on very low speed and I'm trying to be diligent. I also holding it in, trying to be under the camera. So don't take that as something that I just don't care about or I don't try to pay attention to. Honestly, just physically, it's very difficult for me to not do that. I don't have any damage marks on these ones because I have control with my right hand. So now I'm not going to prep my nails yet because I do need to choose my sizes and then prep the tips and design the tips. So I don't want to do any prep work until I'm ready, because I find that if I wiped my nails right now and used my cleanse solution, by the time I got to applying the nails, I already could start having a little bit of oils develop. So I don't want to do that, and I don't want to put primer on the protein bond yet because it's very sticky and things could get stuck to it while I'm, you know, filing the tips and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave them as they are right now. I'm not going to do anything else. And I'm going to start sizing my tips. So I'm going to go into, let's see here. Let me look, where the heck did I put number 1? Okay, so here's number 1. I'm going to try that on my thumb and hope that that fits enough because it's the biggest size that I have. These little bags are not the easiest to open. So let me grab number 1 and hopefully, yeah. It's quite a bit, it's a bit small, just a bit. You can see there, it should actually go out farther than that. And because of this calloused area here, it kind of forces my skin away. So that's what happens here as well. That's what happens here as well. So my cuticle area is very misshapen. I would have needed a larger, but this is what I've got. So this is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to do number 1. And also what I've got here on a little piece of paper, and I printed these off from www.naillacquer.co.uk. I'll try to link it below. I've linked it in one of my other videos. They have all different shapes of nails, but these are great also for when you're designing a set for your clients. And you could cut them in half if you want to and just use them like little index cards like that. But what I'm going to do is write on them what is what. So this would be, would it be like this? No, like this. So this would be my left and this would be my right. So I've got number 1 and number 1 for my thumbs. And let's find out what my pointer fingers are. So let's go to let's try number 7 and see how big. Oh, those look pretty small. So let's try, not number 7. What am I thinking? No. Number 3, I think I went too far down. Number 3, because the smaller the number, the larger the nail. So this might be a bit too big. So now one thing you will notice also with my pointer fingers, if I put this nail, I'm just going to kind of try to stick it on there. Do you see how crooked my natural nails are? Like, pew, pew, they go that way. So when I put this on straight, if I can kind of hold it, look at how much there's no product here. Like there's no nail here, right? So this is obviously way too big. This is, did I say number 3? Yeah. So I'm going to go up in a number and it'll be smaller. So let's see if that's better for this one. Yeah, so I think that's going to be good. Let's see here. Oh, it's so hard to do on yourself. My goodness. Well, actually, it looks a bit small. Let me go back to number 3 again, because I can refine the sides a little bit if I need to. Number 4 looks, oh, but look at how, okay, you guys. I feel like this sizing on these is way off. Look at the difference from number 3 to 4. It's a huge jump. Like, I feel like there should be something in between. Let me look at number 2. Maybe these bags are not labeled correctly. Let me check out number 2. Perhaps these tips, I should say, not the bags, but the tips are labeled incorrectly. Let me look at number 2. Yeah. So these are off. So number 2 might be the right size. Maybe. It looks so wide when I put it on. Let me put it on like this. It probably just looks weird to me also because that sidewall is missing. Yeah, I'm thinking this is actually the right size. What does number 5 look like? Is number 5 smaller than number 4? It is. So I think there's just kind of a sizing flaw in these. I mean, like I said, you guys, these are from eBay from years ago. So I'm thinking number 2 is going to be what I need. I'm just going to have to really kind of adjust that. So let's try it on this hand. And I assume it's going to be the same. Yeah. So we've got number 2 for the pointers. Okay, so there's number 1 for my right hand. I need another number 2 for my left hand. Okay, good. Now number 3 might be the one that I need for my middle. Let's see here. Let me pull out number 2 and see how number 2 looks on the middle. Oh, well, I've got that one out here. I'll just test that one. Actually, number 2 might be good for the middle too. Number 2 and number 3 are quite close in size. Yeah, maybe number 2. I think number 2 actually. I feel like number 3 is just, well, it's hard to say because I've never really done them, so I'm not exactly sure 100% how they're supposed to fit, but sorry you guys, I know I'm going out of the frame, but I'm trying so hard to just like, so it fits really good on that side. They just end up looking they look a little wide, right? Like, I wonder if I pinch them a little bit. You're going to get that sort of mark in them if I pinch them, but so I'm going to be tapering it in slightly. This is a tough one. This is a tough decision right here. Okay, so if I slide number 2 all the way over, okay, my camera's now, so if I slide number 2 over on this side all the way to the side, you can see there's just a little bit of space right there. So that's why I'm thinking number 3 would be the best, because that doesn't happen with number 3. Number 3, if I slide it in there, it covers all the way on both. Okay, so number 3 for that one. Let's open up and get another number 3. For this one, probably going to be the same thing, I'm assuming. Yeah, so number 3. The ring fingers are probably a number 2, I'm gonna say, because they're a little bit smaller than my middle fingers. Yep, so number 2 goes for the ring finger on my left hand. So number 3 is in the middle. Just writing them down. And number 2 for the ring fingers. 7 is a bit big at the cuticle area, so I'm going to have to refine that a little. But they're both a bit big. Let's go with number 7. I'm just going to have to refine that cuticle area. And you know what? It might happen on, I just wanted to grab another one to see if it's any different. No. So it's just a bit big over here, like you can see. Sidewall wise, yeah, I'm going to have to refine that. Same on this side, I'm sure. Let me try 5 on this hand and see if it makes, or not 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try 8 on this side. See if it's better on this side. Yeah, it's way too small. See that? Way too small. So 7 it'll be for the pinkies. I'm just going to have to kind of MacGyver them up a little bit. Okay. So here are all my tips. So now I've basically got to shorten them. I'm also going to smoothen out that cuticle area so that it's very thin, and if I have to reshape them at all to kind of fit the way that they need to fit, I'll do that. And I'm also going to etch underneath. So what I'll do is etch them to the exact length of my nail and where my nail goes. So I'm going to start off by shortening them. And I don't know if it would be easiest just to clip off the tip maybe. I don't know. We're gonna maybe give that a little whirl and see how long do I want them. I really don't want them that long. These are really, really quite long for me. So maybe if I just kind of go in like so. I don't want that white marking though, because you will kind of see that even though I'm putting color on, so I don't want to bend them too much, but let me just check that here. Now I've just got to shape it. Got to shape it now to be more of an almond shape. So I think that the ones that I was looking at, the tips that I was looking at that I really, really liked, they looked like the right length for me, so I wouldn't have to do so much altering. I believe they were actually the KIARA Sky, I think they're called jelly tips. And yeah, they look like they're a really nice shape. The pink chair carries them, so I just haven't ordered because I was just kind of waiting for feedback. And also my credit card got scammed, so I don't have a credit card right now on file, so I have to wait for my new credit card to come in the mail, which that sucks because now I have to go through the whole process of basically changing everything and contacting every company who has my credit card. And I couldn't even watch Amazon Prime because they were like, nope, your payment method has been canceled or changed or whatever. And apparently it was just due right at that time when I lost my card. Well, I didn't lose it, it got scammed. So, all right, so just kind of put that on there and see what do we think for length. It's a little long still, I feel like that's kind of how long my other ones were. But I don't want to go super short, so I'm just going to go through and shape these up. So I would love to know in the comment section if you guys are using press-ons on yourselves, if you're a nail tech. I know that at-home DIYers always are doing press-ons, but if you are an actual nail tech, a certified nail tech who has clients and you know, is working daily on clients and really doesn't like having to do their nails, I would love to know in the comment section below if you do press-ons or if you do prefer to just sculpt and do your nails like normal. If you do press-ons, what products do you love? What products have you tried and you don't like? Give me some insight, guys. All right, so now the crappy thing about this fingernail as well, so if I put this tip on straight, it won't stay. I'm trying to kind of poke it under my proximal nail fold there. If I put it on totally straight, a little bit of that nail on the side there does poke out because it grows so crooked, and I can't alter it much more. There's really no free edge left. There's just that much there. So it is just going to have to stay the way that it is right there. So I think that's okay. I'm going to leave that. I wish it would just kind of stay on so I could get a better idea. Just stay, little baby. Just stay. Please stay for me. Maybe if I talk nicely. It looks like it's flipped up because it is kind of flipped up. I don't obviously have it tacked down, but I just want to check the length. You know what? I'm just going to wing it and go with that. And I'm hoping that this is not something that is going to take me forever to do every time once I get some actually, you know, good tips ready to go. So the next step would be, now this one, it's okay at the cuticle area. If I feel like it's fine. I don't feel like I need to do anything to really alter it, but I do want to smoothen it out some, so I am going to just blend it a little bit here to make it just a little bit like thinner. That way it'll slide under the cuticle or under the proximal nail fall just a little bit. I'm not trying to shove this thing like those videos on TikTok where it's like, show your boyfriend how we do get our nails done, and then they pull it out of the fake hand and it just looks crazy. I'm not trying to shove it way up in there, you guys, but I do want to get it in there a little bit, so I want to make it thin, and then I just want to kind of eyeball it. And I'm going to take my e-file, and I've just got a football bit I'm going to use to etch underneath, and I do think the etching is key. I think that you need to etch them so that you have the best adhesion. So I'm just going to go under here a little bit and scratch that up. And then I will just kind of test it and see how much farther down I need to go. Got to go a little bit farther down than that, probably to right about here. I'm just going to lower the speed on this actually, because I think it'll be better if I lower the speed. Yeah, so I'm going to go under there and just etch this. All right. So let's see if I've got it etched. Yeah, it's far enough down. I think that will be fine. And then I also want to buff the top of the nail. I've just got this old buffer, even this file that I'm using from Young Nails, it's 100/100, but it's very old. These are two files that I use like always when I do my own nails. So on one side this is 100, and on the other side it's 180. So I just use the 180 side, and I'm just going to buff, whoopsies, take that shine off of there, so that when I apply my gel, again, I feel like it'll have better adhesion, because if it's just shiny and smooth, nothing will stick well to it. And I'm also going to use the buffer to kind of just smoothen out the edges a little bit, right? Just to make sure there's no little pieces of plastic that have kind of balled up. Like, you know, sometimes when you're filing plastic, it'll sort of melt and ball up on the end. I want to make sure there's none of that. I want to make sure there's no sharp edges or anything. And pretty much that is it. That one is ready to go. Oh, I'm just gonna fix this little, see what I mean? That's what I mean when I say it kind of melts and balls. I don't know if you can see, there's a little kind of lip there. I just flicked it out with my finger, and now I'm going to take it off. Just smoothen that out. So I'm gonna just show you the difference here in thickness of that. Well, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it, but how thin this is now compared to this, because I smoothened it out a little bit. I etched underneath, plus I smoothened on top. So that way it should fit and slide nicely in there. So 1 down, 8 to go, because I already did one. I know I have 10 fingers. Alright guys, so I actually decided to take a little Sharpie marker as my guide and just kind of draw a few lines, and that'll help me to know better where I need to file them or cut them. done, I'm just going to take a little alcohol here and just wipe the dust off of them, top and the bottom. Just get them cleaned and ready to go. I'm going to finally do the nail art on them. So now that pinky nail, I pinched it on the one on my left hand, and honestly, I really did not need to, because the other one I didn't have to. But I think it'll be okay. You might see a little bit of that little white line there, but it's not going to be too big of a deal, hopefully. And this one here, little pinky nail. All right, so let me just show you guys. I've got them here. Now I'm going to get my little holder here, and I'm just going to put all of these ones. Right, so now the base of the color of the design that I'm doing is a Madame Glam. It's called Wham Bam Thank You Glam. It is a really, really nice pink blushy color. It's very soft. It's like semi-transparent. Generally, I would recommend doing 2 coats, but I just wanted it to be very sheer because I'm putting glitter on the tip, doing that glitter fade, and I am using this one here called Make Out With Me. It was in my top 5 favorites, I believe, for February. I love this one. So what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of this out onto the paper towel. I don't need a lot. And I have a brush that I always use for picking up flakes and glitters and stuff like that. I just need to give it a little bit of a wipe because it's got a little bit of gel on it. This is just like an old brush. It was from Michael's. It was a long brush that I just kind of cut apart and made it sort of like an ombre brush, but I never actually used it for ombre. I think I tried once and I didn't like it. But this is perfect for picking up glitters. So I'm going to do, I'll just take that one off because I don't need that one right now. I'm just going to do a thin coat of the Wham Bam Thank You Glam. And then I'm just going to tap the glitter in. Again, it's just a thin coat. We're just doing a little bit of a sheer coverage here. I just wanted that little bit of shimmer because you guys know that's usually what I have on my nails, is just a little bit of a blushy shimmer. And the reason that I'm brushing from the middle down and the middle up is because I don't want to accidentally come like this and happen to get a glob of gel underneath that cuticle area. I want it to be completely free of anything so that when I go to put the acrylic underneath there, it'll lay perfectly nice against my natural nail. So this is the process that is so easy and simple. It's, you know, it's prepping the nails, the tips to get them to make sure they fit perfectly. But like I said, I'm really hoping that, you know, once I purchase a more professional set of tips, I won't have to muck with them quite as much. All right, so now what I do is just go and tap just to put a little bit of stickiness. I usually will spread my glitter out so I can kind of grab them a little bit better. And I just start placing my glitter on. And I don't want a whole lot. I'm not trying to, you know, cover the whole nail. I'm just wanting to create a little bit of an ombre faded glitter effect. So I think that's good for that one. I'm just going to do the next one, and that's basically it for the design. Like, how simple and quick. And that was kind of my whole thing, is that I generally don't do a lot of nail art on my nails. I don't generally like a lot of nail art on my nails, but even doing something as simple as this would have been sort of annoying and hard for me to do and frustrating, because I would have had to, you know, build the nail first, take all the product off, and yes, it was time consuming this time, simply because I don't have professional tips here. But like I said, I am fairly confident that once I actually get, you know, the après tips or young nails or the KIARA Sky ones, that eventually when I do that, it won't take as long to do the shaping and getting the right size for, you know, my nail, etc., etc. I don't think that'll take as long with proper tips. I love this glitter, you guys. It is just, oh. So it's got like a rose glitter in it and also an iridescent, and they just together, like when I was out yesterday, I had to go do some errands yesterday and groceries and all that stuff, and in the daylight, oh, they looked so cool. I wish I would have got a picture. Maybe I'll try to take a picture of them all when they're on outside. Okay, how pretty is that, you guys? So pretty. All right, so I'm going to get these in the light to fully cure. I'm going to do a full 60 seconds. All right, so those are cured. So now anytime I do a glitter on top method, usually before I put them in the light, I will tip them sideways. You guys see me do this in my St. Patrick's Day green nail design. Not my St. Patrick's Day, it was the mixing of all the greens. To tip them sideways to make sure there's nothing poking out super crazily. So I don't, you know, everything's laying as flat as it can, but you can still see that there's some texture there. So usually when I'm doing a design like this with chunky glitter on top, I'll go in with a thicker top coat like the Young Nails Synergy gloss gel. You can also encapsulate with a builder gel. So I'm going to do that first. I'm just going to apply my gloss. I might just do one at a time just to make sure that the gloss, by the time I get to the fourth finger, if I put it on too thick, it's going to start sliding and slopping all over. So I'm just going to take it off of there. And what I'll do is kind of drag the gel a little bit, and if you need to turn the hand kind of upside down, or I guess the tip, it's not a hand. I'm not used to working on tips. You can do that. Just sort of tip it upside down for a second or two, and then just kind of check the even and levelness of it, and then get it into the light. So 60-second cure. And then I'll go on top with the final top of my Young Nail Stain Resistant, because I do love the shine of the Stain Resistant. So I know a lot of times, you know, we're concerned about the fact that, you know, that these might be really thin. These tips are too thin and they might break or whatever. I didn't even do the gloss on my thumb because I just wanted to get it done and sort of post on Instagram. So adding this layer of gloss will thicken it up, but one thing I want to mention is I do want to be careful at the cuticle area to keep it as thin as possible. So I'm not really building it there, and there's no chunky glitter there anyways. I'm more so kind of bringing it down this way so that it's not a big thick blob at the cuticle area, and then when I go to place it onto the nail, it's like sticking way high up. It's nice and flush and smooth, if that makes sense. So again, I'm just going to kind of tip this upside down for a few seconds, roll it around, see if it's good. I think it's pretty good. Oop, I just touched it though. All right, I think that's okay. So I'm going to get that in there. Once that one comes out of the light, then I will just go in with my top coat, my Young Nail Stain Resistant, and I will top coat them all, and then I'm going to do all 5 of the other ones. Guys, so that is how those ones look. I'm just gonna let them cool, and then I will wipe the dispersion layer. I do find if you let them cool for, you know, 30 seconds, a minute if you can with your clients, if you have the time. I know that every minute counts when you're doing services, but if you do have time to let them cool before you wipe the dispersion layer, I do find that they stay shinier longer. All right, guys, so I have got the other hand, the right hand of nails out of the lamp. I'm just now going to start prepping my nails. So I'm going to do my left hand first, get it prepped up. So I'm just going in with my custom mix, 50-50 mix of 99% alcohol and 100% acetone, and I'm just kind of scrubbing it into the nail, really getting it dehydrated and dried up. And then I'm going to go in with my protein bond. I do not keep my protein bond in the protein bottle because I had because I had issues with that bottle. I just did not like the little tiny white bottle, so I have basically just put it in a different bottle now. So I'm going to go in with 2 coats. Now I may still have a little bit of acrylic on my nails from the last set, and that's okay. It's a very thin layer, and I'm going to be applying acrylic anyways. Now, if you were doing glue, you would want to make sure that you have absolutely no product on your nail if you're going to be gluing the nails on. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to ask you guys or mention was, so my thumb is already done. So when it comes to using, like, say, the Appraise system where it has a gel, if I was to, say, design a set of black press-on nails, which I would never wear, but let's just say I did that, how would I apply them to the nail after with the black nail polish or with the black coloring? Because the UV light or the LED light has to be able to get through that in order to cure the gel. So that was another reason I was thinking acrylic would be a better idea, because it doesn't matter what color I would have on the tips, I would be able to just still cure the acrylic. So if this was a black nail and I put gel and then I pressed it on and then I had to try to cure it, the UV light or the LED light isn't going to get through that black gel in order to cure the gel underneath. That's my theory. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely incorrect, but I would love to know if you guys do use the gel application method, like the Appraise system. How do you do that if you want to wear dark nails? Does that mean you have to apply the nails first and then do your design? Because that kind of defeats the purpose for me of this whole process. I want to design the nails just sort of as I feel like it and as I have time to, and then just be able to apply them. All right, so I've got my monomer here, and I'm just going to be using my custom cover blush color, 2 parts cover pink to 1 part crystal pink or 1 part clear. I think this is now just 1 part clear because I am out of my crystal pink, but you can just add a little bit of pigment if you need to. So I'm just going to submerge my brush. I know I don't usually show you guys like off to the side. My stuff is usually off to the side, so I don't usually show you guys how like I actually grab my beads of acrylic and stuff. So now with this, I want to make sure that I've got the right one. I believe this is, or is this the middle one and I've messed them up now? I don't know. Let's just... Yeah, no, that's the right one. So the key to this, I believe, when you're doing either gel or acrylic, is to make sure that it is very, very thin. I do not want a lot of product. Like that might even be too much. Just a little tiny bit. And I am doing it a little bit wetter than I normally would. So I am going to bring it to that cuticle area. And I'm going to push it on, slide it up, and I'm going to rock it forward. And I'm going to quickly just take a peek and make sure I've got it on straight. And then I'm just going to have to hold it there. Now with the gel, you would obviously get it right into the light to cure. But with the acrylic, you do have to hold it. So if you have some little clamps, for instance, I do have some little clamps. I don't know if that would work to just kind of clamp it on there and hold it down. I could do that so that I could move on to my next nail. And the key that I want to make sure is that I don't have a bunch of product seeping out all over. So you guys can see here when I was making this and I was telling you the issue with putting the nail, and I did still put it on, it's not perfectly straight, like it does still kind of angle that way. But if I would have twisted it even more, if I would have guided the nail even more this way, that would have poked out even more, because that's my skin there. That's just because my nail grows so crooked. So I can't really avoid that as much as I would like to completely avoid it. I can't. So I might just put this on here and clamp down if I can. I don't know if that'll hold. I mean, it's kind of holding. It's more so, I would say, pushing. There we go. A little bit closer to the tip is probably better. I just find that it's putting more pressure on the right side there. Maybe that's better. All right. I mean, I think it's pretty good on there anyways, but I want to make sure, when I did my thumb, I did have a teensy little bit of product that seeped right here, and I just quickly grabbed my brush and just went in and swiped it and got it out of there. So you would do the same thing. I don't see any product seeping out on this one. I will say this one is not sitting quite as flat or flush. There is a little edge right there. You can see that right there. There's a little bit of an edge. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I still had some product under there, like on the natural nail, but that's okay. We're just, this is my first time doing these, so I am completely winging it. I have watched literally one video of a lady doing it with acrylic, and that was it. So again, putting in my acrylic, and I'm going to slide it in and rock it forward. Okay, so you guys see that right there? Look, it seeped out on the side. I want to get rid of that. Wipe that away real quick. And then I want to make sure it's on straight. Looks straight. And I just want to hold that down, or again, grab my little gadget and apply pressure so that I can move on to the next one. All right. So this is like the quick part, right? It's designing them and, you know, having to file them and shape them. That's the part that's time consuming. All right. So again, going to do the same thing. I might have put a little bit too much on this one as well. We'll see when I push it and rock it if it seeps out. So I want to make sure I'm rocking it forward. It's a little harder. Yeah, there is some product seeping out on that side there. So I'm just going to get in there and swipe it away really quickly. You guys know I tell you all the time, do not put a bunch of product all over your skin. I am not trying to do that, that's for sure. I'm just very lightly, I'm making sure my brush is flat. If your brush is flat, then you don't really touch the skin. You just kind of get in there like that. Okay, so I want to push this in better. I'm not sure I like how that feels with the pincher, but you know what? I'm gonna get it on here and pinch that down. And move on to the little pinky. So again, you just want a little bit of product. You just do not need a lot at all. And I think that is so key. One of the ladies had messaged me yesterday, asked me, how do you like not have it seep out all over? And I believe that is honestly just the key, is to not put too much product. Oh, shoot. That didn't work very well. All right. So I'm just going to hold that down. Squeezing that down. Probably could remove this thing, maybe. Yeah, you just want to make sure you have to hold it down with the acrylic, because the acrylic takes time to cure, right? It's not like gel at all. Now these ones will probably look a little bit thicker as well, because as I said on the thumb, I did not use the builder gel at all. I did not use the, what is it called? Not builder gel. The gloss gel from Young Nails. I just went in with my stain resistant. So these ones might look just a little bit on the thicker side compared to the thumbnail, but they're not thick by any means. I mean, if you look at that, they're not thick. But having a little bit of extra strength is not a bad thing. All right, guys. So that is what they look like. So now for me, they look a little wide, I would say. Like, I'm used to having my nails look a little bit thinner, but I also really wanted to make sure that I go all the way to the side. And you can even see on this one, it doesn't go quite all the way to the side. It's close, but this one is pretty darn good. This one is good. This one is really quite good except for the side there. And like I said, the thumbs, we know they're smaller because they just didn't fit very good to begin with, which I knew. Now my only concern, I will say, is because I don't know if I can show you this. There is actually a gap here. There is a little bit of a gap here. There is a gap here. There's a gap here. There's a slight gap there. So what I'm going to do is actually go in and drop a little bit of acrylic in there, because what I don't want is to have a gap and then, you know, bacteria or debris or whatever can get kind of up in there. So I'm just going to put a little wet bead of acrylic and just let it sort of flow down into there. And the reason for that is because my nail, I'm assuming the reason for that is because my nail is extremely flat. And maybe I just didn't put quite enough acrylic in there to sort of fill that void. I mean, my nails aren't, I shouldn't say extremely flat, but they're flatter, right? So if you have that happen, you could probably do this with gel too. You just want to, I don't want to use a thinner viscosity so that it kind of can push down in there. I really do not want to have a big gap for, you know, dirt or anything to get in there. But you just want to make sure you kind of get in there and seal that up a little bit. And if it's too much, just go in, clean that out a little. Make sure it's not dropping or dripping all over your skin. You just want to get it in that gap area. And I do have a little bit of a gap here on my thumb as well. I did notice it yesterday, but I thought, oh, maybe it's just because it was my very first time applying that I, you know, just didn't apply it properly. But I feel better now that I have that little bit of acrylic in there. So like I said, they do kind of look like a little wider than I normally feel like my nails look when I build them. But you guys, I feel like this is just going to be way easier for me, and I won't have to worry about doing my nails for hours and hours and hours on end. And again, maybe also once I have better tips, right? More professional tips to work with, it will be a lot easier. So now I'm going to move on to this hand, and then I will show you the final product. Alright guys, so there you have it, my very first set of press-ons. I thought I would take them outside and show you how they look in the sunlight because like I said before, these sparkles are beautiful. So I would love to know, guys, in the comment section if you have any tips or tricks or just products that you really like for doing press-ons for yourself. Please let me know below. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it gave you a little bit of insight if you're thinking about doing press-ons for yourself. It seemed like a lot of ladies that DM'd me said they were looking into it for themselves as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please share it with someone else. And as always, guys, have an amazing day.